Hey everyone, Kevin here. Oh my gosh, I'm shaking. I have the new stimulus bill, and folks, there is good news in this. Oh my gosh, it is over 1,800 pages long. As expected, an over $3 trillion package, which, what did I say? If it was gonna be more than 2 trill, I expected to see some extra stimulus checks. And folks, there's good news in this. So here's the scoop. I'm gonna give you a simple overview and then I'm gonna read some of the details here because there are a lot of changes. And if you were pissed about how the stimulus program worked the last time around, this might actually fix some of the issues. So here's the bottom line. Oh golly, here we go. New $1,200 stimulus checks. So if you got $1,200 the last time, this bill would provide, if passed, hasn't been passed yet, but this is the big one that we're all expecting, 1,800 pages long. The House is expected to vote on this Friday. New $1,200 stimulus checks, same income brackets. I'll go through the details in just a moment. New $1,200 stimulus checks. So if you got a $1,200 stimulus check or you were eligible for one, you would get one again. Now, instead of dependents getting $500, you would get $1,200 for a dependent. So for example, myself and my wife, we would get $2,400 filing jointly, plus $1,200 per child. Since we have 2 dependents with social security numbers listed on our tax returns, we would actually get $4,800 in stimulus. That's more than what we got last time, because last time we got $2,400 as a couple, plus $500 each child for $1,000 extra, or $3,400. Now, last time around, we also saw that dependents were narrowly defined as children under 17 years old, which means college students who were claimed as dependents got screwed. It also meant that adult dependents got screwed. Well, this bill says that you would now qualify for the additional stimulus, but not only that, it retroactively would make you eligible for the first round of stimulus. Which means you would now, if you were a college student and you were claimed as a dependent or you're an adult dependent and you didn't originally qualify, now you would qualify for the original and, the way this reads, the additional $1,200. So you would get $1,200 plus the second round of $1,200. So basically what they've done is they've gone through and kind of reworded some of the things from CARES Act number 1, and then they've included a provision for this additional round. Also, a big change, if you're married to somebody with an ITIN number, you were originally not allowed to get your stimulus check. That is, neither of you got a stimulus check. You had a social, they had ITIN, neither of you got a stimulus check. That has been changed. Now you will continue to be eligible if you're married filing jointly with somebody with an ITIN. You will get your stimulus check, you'll get your old one and your new one. Now, as far as somebody with an ITIN, they are still not eligible for this old stimulus check or the new one. Further, there's information here that if you have your stimulus check taken because of back child support payments, that can no longer happen. I'm not sure if that applies retroactively or if that's only going to apply for this next new round. Also, if your deposit of your stimulus check was subject to some kind of garnishment, financial institutions, aka banks, are now required not to cooperate, based on this proposed bill here, with institutions basically trying to collect debt using your stimulus payment. Now, let's go through some of the actual text here and see what I missed. That's off the top of my head. The way this stuff reads is really nasty. So I'm gonna try to read you some of the highlighted points here. So, economic stimulus, 2020 recovery rebate improvements. We are amending the last bill by striking qualifying children and inserting dependents. So that now includes adult dependents and college students. These are intended to take effect as if they were originally passed. The $1,200, basically, if you put your taxpayer identification number in, you qualify. If you don't have a taxpayer identification number, which is basically a social number, you do not qualify. So if you have an ITIN, you would not qualify. All right, what else do we have here? Here, effective date. The effective date is as if this was all passed as part of the original bill. I mentioned that. Recovery rebates not subject to deduction or offset with respect to past due support. We got that. Garnishments. We talked about protecting from garnishments. I want to make sure I got everything covered here. This is the part where the additional comes in. So here we go. Oh yeah, and then it does say, for those of you who have already received your payment, it says if you are now owed more, that's supposed to get processed separately. So you'll get your back owed money. That is like, let's say you didn't qualify because you were married to somebody with an ITAN, you'd now be eligible for that first check as well. And so you'd kind of get queued in for processing to get that payment as well. Obviously, no indication here on timing. Then, this is another big section right here. So this says additional recovery rebates to individuals. All right, it says, in general, in the case of an eligible individual, there shall be allowed a credit against taxes imposed by subtitle. Okay, sorry, that's so verbose. Let me just read you the highlighted part. Additional rebate amount. For the purposes of this subsection, the term additional rebate amount means, with respect to any taxpayer for any taxable year, the sum of $1,200, $2,400 in the case of a joint return, plus $1,200 multiplied by the number of dependents of the taxpayer for the tax year, not in excess of 3 dependents. So you cannot have more than 3 dependents. So you're maxed out, which would actually create $2,400 plus $1,200 plus $1,200 plus $1,200. In other words, somebody could potentially get up to $6,000 of stimulus here. No indication of any kind of recurring payments here. This is just sort of like an extra round. We have the same limitations based on income. $150,000 phase out. So once you make more than $150,000 as a couple, the amount of your stimulus would be reduced by 5%. If you're a head of household, once you make more than $112,500, your income or your stimulus gets reduced by 5%. And if you're an individual, you have the same income limitation of $75,000, and then it gets reduced by 5%. So if you make $76,000, your stimulus would get reduced by 5% of $1,000, which is $50. All right, continuing on. Actually, I think that's it for right now in this section. Oh, here, timing. The secretary shall, subject to the provisions of this title, refund or credit any overpayment attributable to this section as rapidly as possible. No refund or credit shall be made after December 31st, 2020. Delivery of payments shall be made electronically when possible. Okay, and I mean, what I just summarized for you here within 10 minutes or less than 10 minutes was literally like 30 pages worth of congressional legalese. I mean, look at this. This is why you gotta subscribe to this channel, because look, I have one underline on that page. Like, when you go through, there's so much junk you have to go through. And so that's when I try to find the most juicy stuff here for y'all. So hopefully that helps you out. This is really exciting, and this is the bill that has the most likelihood of passing. This, in my opinion, is that pre-negotiated bill. It's actually not called the CARES Act 2, by the way. We were expecting it to be called the CARES Act 2 bill. It's actually called the Health and Economic Recovery Omnibus Emergency Solutions Act, or the HEROES Act. Okay, that's a different definition of the HEROES Act from the HEROES Plan that we had heard about, which was money for emergency workers, but this is not it. This is just one provision. I just read you about 20 pages out of this 1,800-page bill. So I'm losing my mind here because this is so exciting. I'm so happy for everybody this is going to help out, and I'm excited to provide more updates on this. So make sure you hit subscribe, hit that notification bell, get your 2 free stocks with Webull in the link down below. Sign up for life insurance. I certainly know I'm keeping my life insurance because my heart rate is going a million miles a minute. And join me in my programs down below. This extra stimulus check can help you pay for some awesome education. Thank you so much, folks. Really appreciate all of you. We'll see you soon with more updates.